welcome to Across the Fence. I'm Jolie Whitney. 2025 marks the snowiest winter in recent memory for Vermont ski areas. Mount Mansfield and Jay Peak have both reported record snow totals this season, with Jay Peak making national news when it reported 334 inches in February. And as of this weekend, that number is now 406. All of this is a fitting tribute to today's topic, UVM Ski Area Management class. For over 25 years, UVM has been teaching students ski area management. It's a complete picture of the ins and outs of all aspects of the resort operations, from food and beverage to snowmaking. To teach this class, UVM has been partnering with Stowe Resort since the late 2000s. And the professor who's been at the head of this class for the last 26 years is taking his final run this year. Dave Kaufman is retiring from UVM after 45 years of teaching. Joining Dave is John Erikson, Associate Dean for Research and Graduate Education and a Gun Institute Environment Fellow. He will be taking on the unenviable task of filling Dave's shoes, or bindings, as we should say. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're happy to have you. And Dave, let's start with you. You've been doing this for a little while, so what were ski resorts like some 30 years ago?
Well, 30 years ago, the easiest comparison is chairlifts, for example. You know, we were in doubles and triple chairlifts, a few quads, not the detachable quads and the high-speed lifts we have today. So that's one major difference. Snowmaking is another major difference today. We've got highly efficient electric compressors that produce beautiful snow. 30 years ago, we had dirty diesel compressors that produce snow, but not nearly the quality at a better price than we have today. Today it's much more efficient, much more cost effective, and we have very basic grooming. We didn't have today's high quality groomers, high tech groomers, and on the plus side, snowboarding was about to save skiing 30 years ago because skiing was in a decline, and along came snowboarding and bumped the numbers way back up again. So it was awesome.
That's incredible. It must be amazing to see all those technical advancements over your career.
It is. It really, I remember the very first snowmaking machines when I was down at Mount Snow at the beginning of my career, and they were pretty basic. And we've come a long, long way to the benefit of the industry, and darn good because of the climate situation.
Absolutely. And this class, management is all about the bottom line, but this is more immersive than that. What's the class about?
Well, the class teaches students from pretty much the essentials of ski area management in multi-dimensions. The ski industry is not a single-dimensional industry. For example, the current Vice President and General Manager of Stowe, which would be, he works for Vail, therefore, he started in food and beverage at Mount Snow. The current President of Sugarbush, John Hammond, is one of our alums. And he was actually in my class many years ago, but he started in ski patrol, and now he's president of Sugarbush. So it really is, you've got to have the whole spectrum. You know, typically people that get into the industry often start on the mountain in the middle of the night making snow, you know, and then they take care of lifts, and then they move forward from there, or they're on the administrative side. But even on the administrative side, they got to know how the mountain runs, and so while skiing is all about, you know, cash is king, you can't be successful without a happy community. So you got to have great community relations. You got to take really good care of your staff and employees to minimize turnover and keep them happy. And you got to take great care of your guests.
Absolutely. And among skiers, there's always a debate about East versus West. And here in Vermont, of course, we know what the answer is. But from a teaching perspective, what's the benefit of being somewhere on the East Coast?
Well, it's I think the eastern resorts have most of the cards when it comes to snowmaking. We were first with the snowmaking. The western resorts are starting to add snowmaking. It'll be interesting to see how that evolves in the future. But we've got the best snowmaking in the world here in the Northeast and arguably in Vermont. And we've got our quaint New England villages, which is great. The West has and always has been famous for their powder. And you know, we can only wait and see what the climate's going to bring. But they're skiing on more machine-groomed snow than ever before, and hopefully the powder keeps falling out there, and we keep making great snow here.
Absolutely, and we had quite a powder year this year too, so maybe we're coming for them after all.
Time will tell. We had a great winter. In January, February were the best anybody can remember in years and years and years. And I don't think I hit one icy patch in all of January or February.
High praise. And you partner with Stowe for the class, but do you visit other resorts?
Sure. We just, last Friday, John and I had the class down at Sugarbush, and the students get the morning to ski, compliments of Sugarbush, and then they have a 3-hour class delivered by Sugarbush's management in the afternoon. This coming Friday, we're going to Bolton Valley they'll get to ski for a while, and then we'll have a class from Bolton's management, and that'll be an example of a family-owned independent resort that's critical for people that don't dump down the big bucks for Epic or Icon passes. And then in 3 weeks we'll have Wachusett in class. Wachusett's a small mountain, beautifully designed, an hour outside of Boston, and 2 of the next generation are alums as well. And there will be called a feeder and breeder area. They get new skiers, get people excited about the sport, and then they feed them up north to us. And the next generation will be here in 3 weeks visiting class. It's a little far for us to go on a field trip.
Absolutely. And John, let's turn to you. And excuse me while I read your many achievements. You're an Associate Dean for Research and Graduate Education at the UVM Rubenstein School for Natural Resources. So tell me a little bit about what this means for students more than just getting to spend the day on the mountain.
Yeah, I mean, as Dave said, this is a multi-dimensional look at a very complicated industry, an industry that is fundamentally dependent on the environment. So, you know, if you're running a ski area resort, food and beverage, hotel lodging, rentals, safety, medical, right? Real estate. I mean, I can't think of an industry that has more dimensions. Then you take that industry and run it in a very sensitive alpine environment where the only thing that they can't control really is Mother Nature. They get to see a soup to nuts, behind the scenes, under the hood study of an industry that I wish I had when I was an undergraduate.
And there are over 500 ski areas in the U.S., so can a student graduate from this course at UVM and reasonably maybe manage one of those one day?
Not only can they, but they have. Dave has really placed hundreds of students through this class and through our Parks Rec Tourism major into the ski industry. And it's an industry that has vertical opportunities, right? So the current general manager of Stowe started in the kitchen at Mount Snow and worked his way all the way up the chain. But lots of horizontal opportunities as well. I mean, the ski industry touches so many other industries and so many other fields, from engineering to environmental science to wildlife management. There's all these connections of the industry out to other opportunities, so that we see our students very often enter ski area management and then through their careers find themselves in retail, find themselves in hotels and lodging, find themselves in environmental science.
Absolutely. And Dave, that must be a huge feather in your cap to see so many familiar faces.
It's great. I mean, even Molly Mahar, who's president of Ski Vermont, is one of our former students.
Wow,
And
friend of the show too.
So, and her former marketing manager, who's now at Vermont Law School, but he worked for Ski Vermont for 5 or 6 years. He is one of our former students. And we got one of the supervisors in Stowe Ski Patrol is one of our former students, and she got introduced to Vail through our class as well. It's really cool. It's a lot of fun. It's very rewarding to see where these young folks go and what they can do. It's great.
Absolutely. And John, you touched on all the business aspects involved in running a mountain. So why isn't this run in the Rubenstein School of Business? Why do you think it's in better hands with natural resources?
That's a great question. I mean, I think this is an industry that's rooted in the natural environment, that's utterly dependent on the natural environment. It's a natural resource-based industry. Students need to learn marketing, they need to learn economics, they need to learn finance. So we're a university, so they often take classes in the business school. But in the School of Environment, they're also learning environmental science, environmental policy, environmental management, right? They're understanding that key interface between an industry and the environment. So it makes it a very logical place to have it in the Rubenstein School of Environment and Natural Resources, rooted in one of our 5 majors, Parks, Rec, and Tourism.
Well, and I think our students are better qualified when they get into the ski industry because they do have that environmental foundation. If they came through a business school, they wouldn't have those requirements that they have to take those classes. So it's a huge win-win.
Absolutely. And back in the day, every community in Vermont used to have a community-operated rope tow or a T-bar or something like that. And now we're looking at enormous mountains competing with stuff that's family-owned, like you mentioned Bolton earlier. So how do they compete?
Well, they really don't have to compete. I mean, it's a different market. I mean, Bolton is along with Smuggler's Notch, not far away either. They're the go-to family resorts and family mountains for the immediate population. And they have been for years, and they're also destination resorts where they will attract people from the faraway markets, from our primary markets, Boston. Well, we'll see what happens with Quebec, and we won't talk about that. But at a lesser price, and so they, I think, you could say, are what keeps the sport affordable for the masses. And somehow the big guys are going to have to figure out how to make the sport more affordable for people that only ski occasionally and don't want to buy Epic or Icon passes. So
yeah, I mean, right now it's the Stows and the Sugar Bushes and the Killingtons of Vermont that depend on the Bolton Valleys, right, and the Cochrans, right? They need those small areas to introduce people to skiing, especially young people and kids and families, so that they ultimately can evolve to skiing, getting a big mountain experience.
Sure. And it's estimated that skiing and riding accounted for a large portion of Vermont's $4 billion tourist revenue. That's a huge number and quite a testament to this Vermont ski industry and this class. So how do you think ski areas management kind of fits with the land grant nature of UVM?
Yeah, as you say, UVM is a land-grant university. If you look at across the nation at land-grant universities, they're all rooted in their place. And our place is the Green Mountains, right? So it makes sense that we would have a focus on ski area management, on parks, recreation, and tourism in the Green Mountain State that's so utterly dependent on outdoor tourism in general and skiing and riding in particular.
Absolutely. And Dave, you're not quite done teaching, but with more of your free time, are you looking forward to hitting the slopes more? What's your plan?
No, I hit the slopes pretty well right now. So I don't know about more, but I certainly want to plan to keep skiing. And actually, I'm working on a new certificate in snow sports and outdoor recreation through PACE, for UVM's Professional and Continuing Education Division. We've begun to offer certificates. We just launched a certificate in hospitality management, so I'm working on this new one in snow sports and outdoor recreation, which will be heavily focused on just what it says, snow sports and the outdoors. And so that's a project that's going to take me at least through next winter.
Sure, it's still working very hard.
So it's all good.
Dave is retiring.
I see.
Yeah, as long as my wife thinks family is first, we're all set.
All right, thank you so much for coming in. And that was our final run for today. My thanks to the crew behind the scenes here at WCAX. I'm Jolie Whitney. This is Across the Fence. Have a good one.